I always liked CJ, even though he had a big game and eliminated Duke when he was in college. I always liked him. His first 2 years, he didn't play a lot. And going into that season, we played a home game in the preseason against the Blazers, and CJ went crazy. I mean, it was a preseason game. He had 34, 30, I don't know. He had a big number. And there was a moment in the second half. Again, I'm going into like my 10th year. And there was a moment in the second half where I tried to do my chase action with Blake. Throw it to Blake, do a little wiggle, go get the ball, try to shoot. And CJ kind of cut it off. And he's like, yeah, not this year, man. Fuck that, not this year. This ain't last year. And there was, I'm gonna say this to you now, there was a 5-year period where I hated CJ. And now, after tonight, that I've gotten confirmation that he is, in fact, an asshole, I feel vindicated.
You know, only about 3% of the world knows that. So, to 97% of the world, I'm a great guy. I'm so humble and quiet and calm.
You are,
and
but an asshole with it, you know?
Yeah.
You're a great guy.
But here's the thing. Let's just be honest about this situation for a second.
It's
I was
levels.
a bench writer, certified bench writer. Show up to the games, know I'm not going to play. 3 o'clock's my game. Take a shower, watch the game. So they gave me an opportunity to play. I'm playing against JJ Redick, you know, Duke legend, starter for the Los Angeles Clippers. This is my chance to show my coach, look, you can't take me back to the ghetto. Like, I can't go back to the bench. Like, I need 30 minutes a night, and I'm going to show you in the preseason. I'm going to show you on a random Tuesday in Milwaukee. I'm going to show you because I'm not going back to the bench, and I'm a year away from being in Europe, so I got to figure this out quickly. So that was my approach to it. And, you know, I had to talk to myself because when you go through, like, I'm sure Jose went through it, the doubt, like, am I going to play? Am I going to make it? Am I going to be in the league? What do I do if I can't do this? Like, what does that look like for me? You got to talk to yourself, and you got to talk to whoever you going against so you can mentally psych yourself out so that on that random preseason game that I don't feel like playing in, I feel like playing now because I remember the struggle. So I think that was my mentality and how I carried it over to the regular season because they told me, it was like, this is your last chance.
Yeah.
CJ, we were talking to Jose before you got out here about the chip on his shoulder, you know, and just the motivation. You've won Most Improved Player. You've averaged 20 points a game 8 seasons in a row. At what point, we've talked, you know, when you were on the show before about your background and everything like that, but at what point, how do you not lose the chip? You know, when you've had a career like you've had, how do you keep up that motivation? Because you're not necessarily, you know, an underdog anymore.
Yeah, I think it's what you play for. I think when you're younger, you play for money, right? Like, just to be honest, you wanna carve out a role. You wanna get to the league. You wanna carve out a role in the league. You want to be a rotational player, then you want to be a starter, then you want to make money because you know all those things are associated with money. When you do those things, you find something else that drives you and that motivates you. And I think for me, it was just like, I knew I was going to make money. I didn't know how much, but I was like, I'm going to make some money playing this game. Cool, I'm going to be able to take care of my family. Then it was about maximizing my talent. So I think that's the goal. The goal isn't you make money, you give back, you help people, take advantage of your blessing. But the goal is to maximize what God gives you. And I think that was my approach. It was like, God's giving you a gift. How do you maximize it so that when you retire, you can look back and say, I gave this sport all I had. Now I move on to the next thing. And I think that was my approach. And then, you know, obviously I'm married, I have a child, so the job is to provide and to provide the best way you can. And if you're not gonna be home, you better be fucking good at basketball. So I have to make sure that's like the sacrifices is for something, right? Like I'm not sacrificing, I'm not lifting at 10 p.m. to be average. I'm lifting at 10 p.m. so that when the lights is bright at 9:30 tomorrow, like I know I did what I was supposed to do to be ready for this game. So I can live with hitting 8 threes or I can live with going 4 for 20 because the preparation was what it was supposed to be. And I think that's how I stay motivated now. It's take advantage because you pray for this and you work for this. Now make sure you maximize your blessing. And when it's over, it's over.
That's a beautiful thing because that's literally what I told the 8 and 9-year-olds the other day. To them, I said, I hope you all play in the NBA. But what I really hope is that you all maximize your talent. And that's why I have no regrets for my career. That's why you shouldn't have any regrets thus far in your career. That's why you should have no regrets in your career. Because that's what it is about. Because people on Instagram or Twitter can say, that guy's a bum. But if he's maximizing his ability, no, he's not. No, he's not. The bums are the guys that don't maximize their ability. That's the truth. You may be more talented than me, but if you didn't maximize your ability, you failed. I really believe that. That's why I love what you just said.